Greetings, everybody. Back around the table again today to continue the look at the CRKT Slacker.
We ain't slacking. I'm sorry.
Smack.
You can just leave.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Joe. You're cut from the episode.
That's what I figured.
I warned you before we started recording.
Oh, you didn't. You didn't say shit. Well, on that note.
So one of the newest designs from Ken Onion, and the CRKT production version of it is using the field strip technology.
Does that mean that Ken Onion gets paid twice for this knife?
Yeah, he does.
Yeah,
he does.
absolutely. He does.
And that's why it's $100 off CRKT's
Good
website.
for him.
Yeah, is because $66 of that goes to Ken Onion.
Yeah.
I can't say that. But
Well, he did invent the technology and he did make the design, so I wouldn't,
100%. I am all for him making his money on that. That's wicked.
Just makes us laugh.
Yeah.
yeah,
just a little bit.
that's why 4116 curb steel in the blade.
That's a very good point.
Yeah.
So we dabbled on that, and when you're paying two royalties, one for the king of knife designs and paying for a Ken Onion knife design, and it does say with his fancy lettering and all of that stuff.
That's a thing that I don't like.
His fancy
Really?
lettering.
Just all
that
of the
large marking on the blade.
it's too much.
Yeah.
I personally don't care as much, but I can understand why somebody who doesn't like billboarding might be pissed by that.
There's a lot of billboarding.
There is.
Yeah.
There's a lot of information that could have been put inside the scales.
That would have been cool.
With field strip, that would have been super cool.
Yeah.
Kind of like
However-
the Grismo brothers.
Cast aluminum, though, you're not going to get a ton of detail, right? I mean, it'd be cool even if it was
That's
big
fair.
lettering, but just Ken Onion on the
But you
inside
can
of the
laser
knife.
etch inside the coating because the inside's coated as well.
Sure, but that's an extra $50-$60 on top of the cost of the knife, whereas laser etching is like,
on
On
here
steel.
instead of here, it's different laser etching.
I don't know
Where
if
is
it
he
would.
going with this?
I don't know.
I don't know that laser etching would turn up on the aluminum in the same way. It might just burn it. It might look crispy. I'm not sure.
Chris,
But I don't see it being an exorbitant
Okay, not
price
like-
difference
other
for
than
the two
etching
different
here compared
processes.
to etching in there.
I'd say like $10 more at least.
Fair enough.
I'm going to segue into something right now because we're on the backside and Ken Onion and Slacker and his name, and it made me notice the pocket clip. And there's two lefties sitting here. You sons of bitches.
Yep. It is a right-hand only clip.
That's not exclusive to the field strip.
Nope.
The field
No.
strip has been ambidextrous on several occasions. So why you decided not to make, albeit a deep carry pocket clip, I like the fact that it is, it's not made for brothers like me and him.
No.
I'm just going to say it right now. Ken Onion doesn't like lefties.
I think so. I think.
He's prejudice.
They're the devil's spawn. No. But actually,
Were you cut from this episode?
probably, but screw y'all. I'm here. No, but you're right. I think the home front is single clip side, like right clip only, right? I think.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Can't remember off the top.
Let's see if we can pop a picture. It might be my responsibility to pop a picture, but we'll see.
How's about that? The custom version of the Slacker that this is based off of, is that also right?
Who knows?
I'm
I don't even know. The
going
custom
to
version.
assume it is because usually custom versions won't be.
I mean, unless they're made to.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough.
specification, and that's accurate.
And
yeah.
because with custom versions, it's very much that it's the display front side and it's all
Yeah.
extra fancy and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
That's a good point. Fair
So
enough.
we scored it low for pocket ergonomics on the Tuesday episode.
Yeah.
For a big reason because of that, right? So
Understandable. So yeah.
there were some other things on the Tuesday episode
Oh.
that we wanted to get back to.
I did a little bit of math. It was really dumb.
yeah,
It was
we
really
left
dumb.
a question hanging on the last episode.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to let everybody know it's 1/5 of a fig per Newton. 1/5.
Now you know.
5 Newtons per fig.
They no longer call them fig Newtons anymore either.
They just call them Newtons.
They
don't
are just Newtons,
Yeah.
which tells you how much figgy goodness is in them.
So at most a fifth.
Yeah.
They are the second ingredient.
They are.
Yeah.
So 5 fig Newtons to get a full Newton.
Fair enough.
That's the answer we
Full
needed.
fig. But yes,
Full fig.
Yeah.
that's the thing.
There's a lot
So,
of Newtons.
Has nothing to do with
There's
this.
a knife here, and I feel like we should talk about it.
We probably should.
We've got 10 minutes.
Would you, how,
to
ba-
not talk about fig Newtons.
how badly would you lose your edge on this 4116 after cutting through a single
Oh,
fig Newton?
You could put that at 12 degrees and cut fig Newtons all days. It would be fine. But the right now, it's probably like a 17 to a 20 degree, so it wouldn't cut as many newtons.
No, it
I
would
don't
not.
think.
No,
It would
probably not.
Knife Still Nerds has proved that rather conclusively.
Do we want to talk about that jimping?
Let's talk about that jimping. So this isn't like an isolated problem. This has been on multiple models that we've seen,
This is literally on their website.
which I find shocking.
I don't know if you can see the dimples or the irregularities as Nigel's showing them
Yeah,
off.
there's a line that runs through the jimping, and it has been consistent on a few different models that we've seen, and you can even notice it on the pictures up on CRKT's website.
It's amazing.
The only time I've ever seen something like that happen is on Emerson's website. So
Yeah.
The
With their-
consistency in irregularity,
Yeah.
as it were. That's
Yeah.
That's
difficult.
exactly it.
Yeah, and as Dennis noted, the consistency, it's exactly the same on all the ones we've seen.
which
Including-
is just strange.
Including the website.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super weird. I agree with where the jibbing is. I like the fact that it's a little more forward
Again,
with placement.
Design is solid.
Functionality.
Design is solid, absolutely.
Yeah.
It doesn't
jimping-
change the fact that
It's 4116 and it's got shape.
the wibbly wobblies.
So as we're knocking it for the inconsistency of the machining for the jimping and stuff, may as well keep talking about the little bit lackluster fit and finish on this guy.
The centering is not exactly where it should be.
And another thing
Not
that
where
we've
it
noticed-
is. For a lot of most field strip knives I've seen personally have been almost bang on.
Yeah, they've been really good.
This is weird that it's off, and it's actually improved since we've been kind of playing with it over the
Yeah.
last couple hours before the video here.
And
which
we
is
have seen that level of off-centering on a few different models.
It's
Yeah.
been consistent on the slackers.
Yeah.
Not so much the field strips,
yeah,
but
that's
on the
what
slackers.
Yeah.
Which is again weird because you would expect with the field strip it just seems to be better.
I think the liner lock has not been dialed in properly. I
Yeah.
think is a big problem with why it's pushing the
think the
blades
tension's
so
maybe a
far
bit
off.
high.
And I do also think why that's also a problem with some lock stick, and that segues into that. Is
Yeah.
I've seen a couple models with some pretty serious lock stick.
Like to the point where you're struggling to get that thing to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even with the relief they have modeled in there.
This one's actually pretty impressive. I got
Yes.
to admit, like
This one's not too bad.
Another thing that I find annoying about how they did the lock is there's absolutely no sort of ramping on the blade face. So if you don't clear the detent ball as you're moving it over and release the lock, it will catch the detent ball and
Just
you
hangs
can't
there.
close it. And
Okay,
it's-
okay. You can bitch about 4116, or you can bitch about a detent ramp for $100, but you can't bitch about both for $100. Or it'll be $150 price point at that point.
Yeah.
Like it's.
But at this moment, I wasn't bitching about 4116. I'm still sticking on the lock
I
that
get
we
that.
were in
Yeah.
the middle of talking about and stuff.
I understand that. The liner lock and the detent ramp. And I
Ramps-
get what
And
you're
talking
saying.
about
Ramps
the fit
are-
and finish. And,
Yeah.
Ramps are expensive to either mill or chamfer in by hand. They're expensive features to add because they're hard to get right.
But it wouldn't even need to be so much as an actual ramp, but at least chamfer the edges because they didn't chamfer any of the edges the whole way around.
Yeah, that might be
Yeah,
part of
it
it
is.
though, right?
It's sharp.
Real sharp.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Oh yeah.
So even if it was something as simple as just chamfering the edges so it wasn't catching on that sharp edge.
I don't
Just
like
give it a
how
little bit of
rough.
height.
I think
and
for
proud
me,
this
more
is.
than anything, I was just knocking the CRKT fit and finish overall.
Yeah.
Is you got to pick and choose your battles when it comes to the price point when it comes
Fair
to
enough.
CRKT, and that's
Yeah.
I think that's what I was playing
Yeah,
off of
right.
more than anything else was the
You do have to pick your battles with them.
for what you're getting from CRKT. It's like. And you're right; they are all negatives, but we have to pick the negatives that we have to care most about, and overlook some of the negatives that you're like, no, that's just what they do. Just it's okay. It's
Yeah,
just
like
what
I could definitely be a lot more accepting of that detent stick non-wrap issue if it was a decent steel.
Well,
yeah.
yeah,
I
just-
would
and-
allow that a little bit.
And I think
easier.
that's only what I was getting at.
Yeah,
when I
yeah.
was talking about, yeah.
Quickly getting into stickiness. This particular model hasn't had as many issues, but disassembling this thing with the field strip has been rather sticky in the past little bit. It's actually smoothed up. Again, the more that we play with it, it seems to be good. Whereas most of the other field strip knives have been good out of box, this took a lot of playing with.
Had a bit of a break-in period.
Right, and it was kind of weird that it clamps so badly in the pivot. I wasn't used to it. It was very strange. I don't know. I kind of wish that was a little bit more crisp.
I mentioned it before recording. It was like relearning field strip technology because it made me feel like I was doing it all
Doing
over
something
again
wrong.
for the first time.
Yeah,
like
and doing it wrong.
with the home front and what Ken Onion had, and the first time I ever played with that, and kind of getting all the pieces to click together and work properly. And
Yeah.
that's kind of what this made me relearn.
Yeah.
Type of thing. But once we did, like you said, it worked in and it's actually clicking together really nicely right
Yeah.
now. And I will also say Teflon washers on the inside. When it comes to the Teflon washers, we've seen other ones where they've had a problem where they've come apart washing things like that.
Yeah.
So far, every single one of these I've seen have been inset nice enough that
Nice and tight.
there
Yeah,
has
they
been
don't
no
pull out
issue
of the scale.
with losing one in a creek or whatever it may be.
Less than ideal.
Yeah.
So I kind of built it up, I guess, off camera before about the one thing that I'm like most excited about with this knife, and it's not necessarily this specific knife, but the field strip technology in general is in your pocket. This wheel, like, you have to spin the wheel obviously to unlock this knife. You have to spin it the opposite direction of what would happen if you put your hand into your pocket. So there's no chance of you reaching into your pocket to grab something else and loosening off your knife, which is really nice.
Says the right-handed guy.
Yeah.
Well,
It doesn't change.
no, I was just gonna say, even if it was lefty, it wouldn't matter. But that's
made it
actually
for no reason.
that's a nice touch, having the threading in that particular direction.
It's one of those things
Smart.
that could have been really easily flubbed,
Yeah.
and they did it right.
And that's consistent on the field strips.
Yeah.
Keeping on with the positives. As far as design is concerned, this has been my favorite in hand.
Yeah.
Great.
By
too.
far. I mean,
This is what a Kershaw leak should be, just for the record.
Yeah.
If you told me I had to spend $100 on this or $100 on a Kershaw leak, I still might pick this with 4116.
Yeah.
You know,
just because of.
You could say the
what
same
this
thing
is.
about the swindle. Like, this is like
Yeah,
a better
this
Yeah.
is a
Yeah.
fine
This is-
swindle. For
Absolutely.
sure.
it is.
As far as like the ergonomic goes, that is such a nicely rounded backside there that even if it is into that awkward 3.5 finger
it helps
grip,
kind of.
there's nothing digging in, so it's still comfortable.
Yeah.
And that's big, especially for people with big hands like yours, right?
Yep.
Like,
It's a big, nicely rounded backside.
yes, it is.
Just for the record,
It sure
that's what
is.
was being summed up there.
Thanks for that. Yeah, I mean, overall, I think we all kind of feel the same way. This knife was a disappointment in a number of ways, but in terms of design and on paper,
It's got a good backbone.
excellent.
It was a surprise in a number of ways as well.
Yeah.
And I think we shouldn't forget aesthetically, ergonomically, things like that.
It's nice.
How
very,
all
very
of us
nice.
got it in
Yeah.
our hand and we're like, sweet, I hope this is an improvement on things to come or a beginning of things to come.
It's a Ken Onion. And I mean, at the end of the day,
Yep.
all that really makes sense.
Ergos, he's hit and miss.
Yeah.
I've seen him throw him some curveballs.
And
I'll
as-
give you that.
And as far as the nice surprise when we did get it in and we're actually able to see it, the size of it is.
Yeah.
I was actually thinking it was going to be a lot bigger in pictures just based off of all the other field strip ones.
Yeah.
Jeff Parks tainted us with a jumbones
Yeah.
and we're like, oh no.
Dude, I was afraid of another Rikiri.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, that's a monster.
So yeah, when it was this size and just like nice, sleek, and very gentlemanly like, it's like no, I really like that knife.
Yeah, this is what I was hoping for, and this is what I got. Which
Yeah.
again, you can never tell until you're holding something
Yeah.
in hand.
And you know what? I mean, it ticks enough boxes that even with 4116, it just might be a good enough knife that you would really do enjoy it. Even if you do have to
Possible.
sharpen it 34
Yeah.
times a day.
It might be a good one in an office, you know what I mean? Like, where you're doing mostly, like, envelope openings
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
I think this is a true attestament to CRKT's Rio model, where it's an introduction to the knife world, and this is a great introduction to the knife world that has maybe a subpar steel. But this is better than what you're going to get at a gas station, and someone
Yeah,
wants to
by
break
far.
into a brand
Always an
name and
upgrade,
start to realize what's out there. This is a great start and a step up from what you're going to get a lot of other places in a big box store
No kidding.
type of attitude, right? So yeah.
Indeed.
So as knife nerds, we might have been a bit more harsh, but as far as what it is, it's not bad.
Yep. For sure.
That's it.
Any other final closing points? No. So yeah, that pretty much rounds up what we have to say about this guy. Once again, a big giant thank you shout out to the Cutting Edge. Yeah.
He's tired. He had a long
I'm very
day.
tired.
That's good. We're all on the same train.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Cutting Edge. Awesome. Really appreciate it.
Very appreciated.
The fact that we get to take this thing apart, play with it,
Mm-hmm.
get a good look at it to give you an honest review, we really appreciate them letting us do that.
Indeed. So yeah, that being that, this is Nigel the Smith signing off.
I am who I am. I'm Dennis Vipers.
I am the Iron Joe.
Exile.ca.
We will catch you again next time.